धीर मारुते गंभीर मारुते
धीर मारुते गंभीर मारुते
धीर मारुते गंभीर मारुते
धीर मारुते अति धीर 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 मारुते
गीत मारुते संगीत मारुते
गीत मारुते संगीत मारुते
गीत मारुते संगीत मारुते
गीत मारुते संगीत मारुते
दूत मारुते राम दूत मारुते. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitanastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. What is the fundamental difference between prayer and meditation? What is meditation is the technical definition of meditation, or in Sanskrit upasana. Upasana means mental worship. So usually meditation is in the form of mental worship, which means maintaining a flow of thought centered upon your object of meditation. So you choose an object of meditation of your choice. It can be a deity like Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva. It can be a name, it can be a mantra. So you choose something that you want to focus your mind upon. And what you choose should be something, hopefully, that you like to do. Something doing which makes you happy. Something that invokes from you something, let's say some devotion. So we choose a name, a mantra, an object which brings out a meditator in you. You see, the meditator should perform meditation. A devotee should perform worship, meaning that while performing worship, if a devotee is invoked in you, for example, when you are before your father, a son or daughter is invoked from you, A friend is invoked from you, etc. So, different situations invoke different person from you. So hopefully, meditation should invoke a devotee from me, so that what I do is done with devotion. So prayer also can be a form of meditation. Except that perhaps in prayer, the thoughts may keep on changing if the prayer consists of a number of verses, a number of words, and it's likely that the thoughts also will vary according to that. So prayer also is mental worship. And meditation can be said to be basically focused on one thing, one name, one mantra, one form, something that you like, and maintaining a flow of thought of that object of meditation is called meditation. Meditation means maintaining a flow of similar thoughts centered upon Ishvara in one form or the other. Meaning that meditation should be in the form of mental worship of Ishvara, where you choose Ishvara or Lord as a name, as mantra, as form, as symbol. There are various things which you can use as aid to meditation. So that becomes an aid to help you maintaining that flow of mind. And this is how we generally do meditation, with help of an aid, which may be a form, a name, a mantra. And difference in meditation and in prayer, as I said, as the prayer goes, the thoughts also change, although there also the central thought is Ishvara, but the thoughts keep changing. In meditation also, the center of thought is Ishvara, but the same thought is repeated. That's the difference between the meditation and prayer. Recently, I often thought about the idea that I have no evidence for the existence of the world, that an independent world exists. I have no evidence. And he explains, without my perception, if I do not perceive, then the world doesn't exist. So I perceive you, I see you, hear you, that's called perception. So you are there because I perceive. Now, is there a pot in my hand? Yes, Swami. Why? Because you see it. Is there a pot? No, because you don't see. So you see this pot because it is, right? If pot is not there, you do not see. It is there, therefore you see. Therefore, you see this pot because pot is. Right? Is that clear? Simple? The question is, do I see or perceive this pot because pot is, or the pot is because I perceive that? That can be, because both of them happen together. That pot is because I perceive. I perceive because pot is. You follow? You could not see the pot had it not been there. You would not know pot is if you had not seen it. Therefore, that the pot is and that pot is seen, both of them happen together. You follow what I am saying? You cannot say pot is unless you see it. You cannot see the pot unless it is. So what point are you making, Swamiji? The question is that what is the pot is, what's the evidence because you perceive the pot? So is the pot there because you perceive? Or do you perceive because pot is? Now there are two models. What we right now, our experience called waking state. We are all supposedly awake. What is called waking is when we interact with the world with our organs of perception, with eyes, ears, etc. The general rule is that in the waking state, we see things because they are there. Because they don't depend whether I see or not, the thing is there. But a similar experience takes place when you are dreaming. I could very well be talking to you in dream, because that's my business. So my dreams are also like that. Now when I am talking to you like this in dream, then do I see you because you are there, or you are there because I see you? In the dream, you are there because I see. In waking, you see because I am. In dream, you are there because I see. You understand the difference? So question is the world there or not? I can see how everything could be a figment of me. So the world could not exist if I did not perceive. So if you take that dream model, then things are because you perceive. Which means that you are creating it. In the dream, we create as we perceive. You will have to think about this, but in the waking state, you see because things are. The dream is nothing but a projection or imagination of our mind. Because next I asked you, how did you like the ice cream last night? What ice cream, Swamiji? Oh, wow! I called you for a feast and I offered. But something wrong with Swami. But that was dream, my dream. This fellow says, return my $100. What $100? I gave you last night. That was in his dream. So dream is an example of something being there because I perceive, because I keep projecting. So in dream, I project, therefore I perceive. I perceive, therefore it is there. Waking, it is there, therefore I perceive. Now what is right now? Is it waking or dream? How do you say? Somebody can say, well, Swamiji, world would not be if I did not perceive. Something like that, I guess, is the question here. That I have often thought about the idea that I have no evidence for the existence of the world. Wow. Without my perception of it. With that logic, I can how everything could be a figment of it. This applies to dream. You could even classify this also as a dream in a different way. But this description that this person has given here applies to dream, that the dream objects are because you perceive. And therefore, the dream is an imagination or projection of my mind. Is it right? Now the question is, what about what we call waking? There are two explanations. When waking also, is it there because I see or I see because it is there? One explanation is, I see because it is there. Other fellow says, no Swamiji, here also it is there because you see. So there is a viewpoint in Vedanta that we constantly keep projecting. So even the so-called waking experience also is something similar to dream, that because how do you say you are if I don't perceive you? So you are, therefore I perceive you, or I perceive, therefore you are there. Somebody says you are there because I perceive. So there are two vadas, there are two kind of explanations. One is you are there, therefore I see. Second is I see because you are there. One is the model of waking, other is the model of dream. Is a misconception? It's not a misconception. You can interpret your experience in that way. And if not, how could we use this concept to improve our interactions with seemingly dual world? Interaction doesn't have to do with reality of the world. Interaction has to do with your values and attitude, really. To improve interaction, what you need is to follow your values and attitudes, not what model you apply. Whether I'm interacting with something that because when I interact with you, what is my notion? That you are there and I'm here. The moment I use the word interaction means that I already take you different from me, because there can be interaction with myself. So when you use the word interaction, it presupposes that one I'm interacting with is different from the one who interacts. So that duality is already presumed. Then only interaction can be there. And so this model is not much as far as improvement is concerned. Improvement in interaction depends more on our values and attitudes rather than the reality. Because I'm interacting, which presupposes that you are there and I'm here. You are there because I'm imagining you, or you are there because you are there. It doesn't affect or doesn't play a role as far as our relation is concerned. Because I look upon you as different from me anyway, then when the interaction comes. How do you deal with the papa karma that comes from making a decision in a no-win scenario? Assuming you made the decision that caused the least but still a marginal amount of harm. You made a decision that caused a small amount of harm. The rule is that there's always a certain amount of smoke with fire. Where fire is, some smoke is going to be. Sarvarambhai dhumena agni rivarvata. So Lord Krishna says that when you perform any action, some violence will be involved. But minutest. Some energy will be utilized. And number one, basically I look upon you as different from me, which is not right. In reality, you are no different from me, that's the reality. Thus, if I interacted with you as I myself, that would be the ideal interaction. But then, as long as I see that thing that you are different, I am different, already I am imposing that duality. Division, that you are not I and I am not you. That is the beginning of violence. The division. I exclude you and you exclude me. You follow what I am saying? When I say you are different from me, that means that you are not here, you are not this. You are outside this boundary. Meaning you do not have entry into this boundary. And maybe I don't have entry into that boundary. So thus we are excluding each other. Upanishad says that this exclusion, this is where the violence begins. We try to minimize that violence by our values of non-violence, compassion. But even that duality, this is a very technical thing what I am talking about, by the way, you may not or may not understand. But the division itself, this is the root of the violence, source of violence. All violence in the world takes place because one takes the other one as different from oneself. When there are two, they are not identical. They're different, then there's going to be always a comparison. Do you like? Do you not like? Likes, dislikes will be there. And then I'll do what I like. I don't do what I dislike. So my actions are influenced. So whenever this duality is there, division is there, mutual exclusion is there will be some likes and dislikes. And it's likely that I may do injustice to you. Because I respect myself totally. When you're different from me, I do not respect you as much as I should respect you. If you're myself. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, when that duality is there, always some distance, some disrespect, in a minute sense, is always involved. To that extent, some papa karma is there. I wouldn't worry about this papa karma stuff. I said, don't worry about karma. But anyway, some use the word papa karma. I don't think people should worry about papa karma as long as their intentions are good. Do expectations lead to ignorance or vice versa? Ignorance leads to expectation. What is ignorance? Ignorance of the true nature of myself. What's true nature of myself? I'm limitless, having no lack, no want, What is expectation? Is based on lack and want. Meaning that I superimpose some lack and want upon myself. So ignorance brings about that projection and that creates expectations. Avidya, kama, karma, this is sequence. Ignorance brings about desire, that desire brings about karma. But then, we have not discussed this thing, so I don't know to what extent, with what detail I should answer these questions. But anyway, hopefully the one who is asked gets the answers. In case you don't, then you are free to raise your hand. And there's a microphone here also. During the freedom from fear talk, Swami Viditatmananda talked about not giving the same degree of reality to things, and removing the duality removes fear. Swami used examples of how we are not afraid of our own shadow when walking. Sometimes if you don't know that's your shadow, you may be afraid, by the way. Meaning that I am not afraid of myself. I cannot cause fear to myself because I know myself completely. Any other than me, I do not know completely. I can know only part of you, not the whole of you, and therefore there is always uncertainty as to who you are really, and that can cause in my mind some projections, imaginations, and fear. So Swamiji is explaining to you, he may have quoted perhaps a Sanskrit verse which says, Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati, when there is division. What is division? You are different, I am different. That's called division. Two is not division. Mutual exclusion, understand? What is mutual exclusion? You are not I am not you. That is called duality. That is called Dvaitam. Two is not duality. Division is duality. You follow? That's what causes fear. And the solution is therefore recognize that you are not different from me. That's a very high level solution. But how do we not apply the same idea when we are intimidated or fearful of certain people without thinking, oh, I am better than this person or I am nicer than this person? Meaning that we have already assumed the duality. We are raised with the conclusion that what I confront is different from me, and what I experience is different from me, and I who experiences is also different. The experiencer and experience are different. This is built into our psyche. And that's the reason why, as I say, the uncertainty. And uncertainty causes fear. I don't know how you will behave, what will you do, what is your intention, I don't know. And so, fear therefore arises from uncertainty, which causes projections in my mind. Depends upon how insecure I am. Everybody would not feel the same degree of fear in a given situation. Depends on the kind of insecurity I feel in general. But regardless of that, I am better than this person, I am not, I am nicer than this person. Now, what is the need of saying that? I am better than this person. Why? I am nicer than... No, that is certainly the need of the ego to feel better than somebody else. need of my ego to feel nicer than somebody else. Then only I become acceptable to myself. I think that I am good only if I am better than you. I am good only when I am nicer than you. So that's the requirement we are imposing upon ourselves. If I get comfortable with myself, even when I am not better than you, if I can respect myself, accept myself as I am, and not demand that I should be better than others in order for me to be comfortable with myself, no problem. But I think that I am all right only when I am better than you. I am nicer than you, and so on and so forth. That is a kind of a requirement I have imposed upon myself, which is habitual. So let's recognize that. And we can educate our mind. There is no need that you have to be nicer than others, better than others, more handsome than others, etc., etc. We need not impose those kinds of requirements upon ourselves and learn to accept ourselves as we are. I don't accept myself because I'm better. I accept myself because I'm unique. Everybody is unique. Better is something relative, is it not so? Depends upon what criterion you apply. Oh, I'm better because I'm taller than you. Okay. Even better because I'm fatter than you. So that depends on the criterion that you put into practice. This better business is all very subjective, is it not? And all the time changing. Better than you, but not better than that. So in this one I say I'm something, there I go, I'm nothing. If I'm this all the time going to demand myself, then this is going to happen to me. Which we do anyway, but I'm just pointing out to you this habit of demanding from myself that I should be better, but there's no way I can be better than everybody in the world, so I can be better than you, so I always seek your company. I avoid that company, because I am not better than that. All these, we should recognize our tendencies and try to work with them and say, you're okay as you are. You need not be better than others. You are as you are. You are good as you are. Because you are unique. She is unique. He is unique. Everybody is unique. Enjoy your uniqueness. And always try to improve yourself. Somebody said, that best way is if I have to compete with myself, I look at how I was yesterday. And then see, by competition I can be better than today. So competing my own self is the safest and I think is most creative way. That's all I can control. I cannot control myself better than you because you are different, I am different. I don't know in what every way that you are, but I can compete with myself and always try to be better than what I was. That's the best way to grow. Sometimes happiness comes from excitement. Sometimes comes from peace. What's the relation between peace and happiness? Yeah, we naturally didn't have time to discuss many things, but in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains the three sources of happiness, three kinds of happiness. Coming from sattva, from rajas, from tamas. Our mind has three dispositions. Sattvic disposition, when we feel at peace with ourselves, we feel tranquil, we feel cheerful. Rajas, when the mind is excited, restless, seeking, wanting. Tamas, mind is dull, no initiative. Each one of us has these three dispositions and we go through these during the day, more, depends upon what proportion. Sattva, rajas and tamas. So excitement is happiness coming from rajas, activity. Peace, happiness from peace is from sattva. And happiness coming from is tamas. So that also makes you happy sometimes. You avoid something. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Each one of us experiences this, and the idea is that we try to create Sattva in our mind. The purpose of discussion of values, attitudes was and is that progressively our mind becomes sattvic. In Sattva, you are happy for no reason. In Rajas, you are happy because something is there, something happened, something you got, some reason is there for Rajas. In Sattva, you are happy because of yourself. So therefore, the best kind of happiness is when you are the source of happiness. Then there is freedom. When something else is source of happiness, there is dependence, uncertainty, and it comes and goes. Therefore, our attempt would be to create a sattvic state of mind. And that is the purpose of, studying Vedanta and studying these values, attitudes, etc. If in reality there is no duality, is this world just a type of dream? Type of dream, you can say. How do we experience non-duality? What do you think? You think that the whole world should melt into one and then that is all that is left, and that's called non-duality. What do you think non-duality is? Experiencing non-duality. All duality melts and merges and that's some kind of, this is all. Well, non-duality is what is. It's not the description of something. What is, meaning that what is called duality, when we understand, we recognize that what we are experiencing is non-duality. Because there are so many ornaments here. This is one name and form bangle, another name and form chain, and so forth. In one way there is duality. Bangle is not chain, chain is not bangle, name is different, form is different, place is different, use is different. Understand point? Both are one. So what we experience is all this diversity of names and forms. As long as our mind only penetrates that much, so long what is there is a bangle and a chain, but then if you recognize a little better, little deeper, then you realize that this is also gold, is also gold. You are experiencing gold when you experience ornament. You are experiencing non-duality when you experience duality. Duality like all the ornaments. Non-duality as gold, yourself, consciousness. So just as you are experiencing gold, because without experiencing gold, you cannot experience ornament, right? So also, this is all manifestation of non-duality. What is non-duality? Manifesting in the form of these names and forms and variety and diversity. But just as a child or somebody who says, this is different, I want this, I don't want, I don't like this. When you take them to be different from each other, then you may like this one, somebody says, I like this. Likes and dislikes can be there. So also when we are superficial, that that's all you are, then there are likes and dislikes. Recognize that there is more fundamental. That you are manifestation of something more fundamental, which is a non-duality, consciousness, existence. So it is not that how to experience non-duality, how to recognize non-duality. You follow? Not experience. How to experience gravity. It's understanding, Because what you're experiencing is gravity, and that's what Newton experienced. It took him a long time to recognize. So no experience of non-duality. You are non-duality. What is non-duality. That is to be seen or discovered. This non-duality is a matter of knowledge or understanding. Experience already there. There is non-duality. There is gold, even though there are many ornaments, and therefore you are experiencing gold. How to experience gold? You can't experience ornament without experiencing gold. You cannot experience duality without experiencing non-duality. you are experiencing non-duality because you are non-duality. And she is non-duality. And that is non-duality. That's all there is. So then how? That recognizes. Puja Swami said very nicely, you don't have to believe in God to understand God. Believe if he is elsewhere. He is removed, then it's a matter of belief. But what is God? Then it's not belief, it's to be understood. What is non-duality? So no experience. You are only experiencing. Understand your experience. That's what Vedanta does. That's what science does. Science explains experience. The apple falls. Experience is there. What does science do? Explain what is the reason for that fall. What is involved. That's what Vedanta does. Experience is there. What else? How can there be life? Vedanta explains, teaches us how to see, understand their experience. Because we have to understand, that is where Vedanta is required. That's where teaching is required. Okay, I think there are other questions, but I do not know that we have more time. Let me see. What is a good reference for analysis techniques of Vedanta statements like Anvaya, Vyatireka, etc.? So there are what they call the treatises, Prakarana Granthas, such as Vedanta Sara, for example, is one text which explains a lot of terminologies of Vedanta. Even Tattvabodha also explains. Viveka Chudamani, but then Tattvabodha Vedanta Sara is a text which explains many terms and the models or prakriyas of Vedanta. So you could study one of these texts. Vedanta Sara is a very beautiful textbook that way to understand the basics of Vedanta. On respect alone, is that what it is? Others. Topic from this morning, how should we do with a people who may be like Ravana, like Duryodhana, etc., whom we know may be wrong? Do you know that there was somebody who loved Ravana also? Do you know? Was there somebody? Who was that? Was there someone who loved Ravana? Yeah? Who was that? What was her name? Wow, okay, good. So Ravana was lovable, I guess, in some ways, is it not so? Duryodhana also was loved by his father and some other people. And therefore, how do you respect this Ravana and Duryodhana? That doesn't mean you to embrace them. Respect doesn't mean that you embrace them, to wash their feet and stuff like that. Respect is what you have. That this is what the person is. And that's how the person, and therefore recognize what the person is and give them the due place that they have, give them the freedom to be what they are. Not that everybody has to fit into my standard and then alone I can accept them. No two people are similar, equal, they are all unique. And therefore respect does not mean a given kind of action. You follow? Respect doesn't mean that I hug them, embrace them. That's not. Respect means respect. Now they may result in a certain experience, depends upon what the people are and how things are. But I may not even talk to you, but I can still respect you for what you are. I can appreciate what you are. Ravana, at least he's a human being. Whatever being he was, I don't know, the human being, Ravana. Something. Everybody is something, existence. In Vedanta, everything is, this part is. Part shines. Part is lovable, attractive, dear, asti, bhati, priyam, sat, chit, ananda. Comes in a pot, comes in this little thing, comes in this, comes in anything. What? Satchidananda. So you may not care for this, this is miserable, but it's Satchidananda part. But Satchidananda is still there. And you can give that benefit, to everything. That doesn't mean that you use it or you do some vyavahara is not necessary in respect. Respect is your perception, your feeling. Is that clear? He can be right or wrong, doesn't matter who that person is. You can still respect them for what they are. At least he loves himself.
Swamiji, in the discussion groups earlier, there was some people who were wondering also, how do you accept someone but not be walked on by them? Or how do you not get taken advantage of?
Very good. Accept is not an action. Acceptance is an attitude. And that attitude may result in an action depending on time, place and condition. Acceptance is an attitude. With you, that acceptance may express in some vyavahara, with someone else, a different vyavahara. Vyavahara means an interaction. Acceptance is not a description of action. Is not description of a certain kind of interaction. It is the attitude that you have. And that attitude will express as a specific action in a given place, time and situation. So every value or attitude has to be interpreted depending on time, place and condition. I can respect you and not talk to you. Suppose I may not talk to you, I may look away, but I need not disrespect you, I need not hate you. If I feel that perhaps looking at you or interacting with you may result in something that may be not desirable to me, I can avoid that. You don't have to be walked over or whatever. That's not respect. Respect doesn't have to be equated to something. You understand what I'm saying? Respect is the attitude that I have. Now, how that attitude will express in a given situation is decided by that situation, that time, that place, that person. So here is a person who can walk over me. I keep a distance and can still respect. You follow? Respect doesn't mean I have to hug people or I have to let them walk over me. That's not so. Is that clear? Okay. You talked about guilt and hurt and expectation and self-management, the unique traits of humans. How come some so-called humans, and give some names which I will not repeat, but perhaps you can yourself imagine. How come these people have no guilt? No guilt whatsoever. They keep on doing things that they do with no shame, no compunction, no hesitation, no guilt. How do they get away from this karma? Lies to follow, what is it? To follow human beings, etc. You see, you do not feel guilty at all, even though you do something which is miserable, abominable. Don't feel guilt. Is it good or not good? Not to feel guilt, is it good or not? You know something? A cat does not feel guilty. It can do anything from our standpoint, and papa karma that we call papa karma, a cat has no sense of guilt. If a human has no sense of guilt, it only means that the human has fallen to the level of a cat. You follow what I'm saying? No, I mean it. Meaning that you have managed to make yourself so insensitive. You were given sensitivity. That is a mark of evolution. By abusing that, you have managed to kill or destroy that sensitivity, that you fall into the level of cat. Quite likely, if you believe in this karma and birth, and next birth, the person will be born as an entity which doesn't feel guilt. That's not for us to judge, but all I'm saying is that even in this life itself, the person has managed to devolve from the status of a human being to an animal, to a Rakshasa, to an Asura. The Rakshasa doesn't mean that some horns will grow there, although that's all they show the pictures, So you can recognize it. You may not recognize the modern Rakshasas that way, but they show those traits. And that doesn't mean that nobody gets away. Nobody gets away from the law. One may get away from the so-called, human laws, etc. But I do not think that a person who thus flaunts all the laws can enjoy any peace of mind. I do not believe. You can show yourself to be macho, you can show whatever it is. But what you feel in your mind, you need much harder things to feel happy. An innocent person may need very little to feel happy. A child needs very little to feel happy. Many years ago, waiting at the bus stop, and when is the bus? And I kept on complaining, and so that's what I was. And even it's about school children. Hey, bus is coming, bus is. Oh, what is the big deal? But bus is coming. Then we are so happy. What does it need to be happy? Depends on the mind. You can make your mind set that nothing makes you happy, and you can make a mind that everything makes you happy, and that is what we want. We want to create a mind so that you need minimum. And ideally nothing, that's the ultimate for being happy. That's what I mean by how to be happy, how to create happiness for ourselves. More and more unconditional happiness. Right now so many conditions are there. Oh, ice cream, very good. What ice cream is it? Which brand is it? What is what? What are the contents? What is this? What is number here? By the time ice cream comes, it's all gone. So many conditions I have, then I can enjoy something. I cannot enjoy something as it is. I'm talking about myself. That is safe. So I think we answered all the questions. Huh? Very good. So you want to sing something? Huh? What is it?
He already sang, Swami.
That I heard. Very good. I was hearing. I was in dining hall and listening to the bhajans. Very good. He is a very good singer, but you sing something in Hindi, not Gujarati. Sorry, they're putting you in a spot, but I heard all his bhajans and I enjoyed them, but they were all Gujarati. And there are some, huh? Achyutam Keshavam is nothing, yeah. Did you sing that? Did you sing that? I know, that's what I'm saying. Not for me, but for everybody, include others also. That'll be good. Light band kar diye? You come here. He has come all the way here, driving 12 hours to sing for the Swami. Yesterday he could not do that because by the time he came, I wound up everything. Today, he was something and I was somewhere else. So, that's how, I guess, luck seems to work. You sing whatever you like, okay? Light बंद कर दिए પછી Sanjay, can you switch off the light? Okay, you 1 minute, let him locate his thing there.
Hello. Sa ga ma da ni sa sa ni da ma ga ma ga sa ni sa. मन तरपत हरि दर्शन को आज मन तरपत हरि दर्शन को आज मोरे तुम बिन बिगड़े सगरे काज हो बिनती करत हूँ रखियो लाज मन तरपत हरि दर्शन को आज तुम्हारे द्वारिका मैं हूँ जोगी तुमरे द्वारिका मैं हूँ जोगी। हमारी और नजर कब होगी। सुन मोरे व्याकुल, सुन मोरे व्याकुल मन का बात। तरपत हरे दर्शन को आज। This mantra is for Swamiji. Saga mada ni sa ga sa ni sa ga ma ga sa ni sa da ni sa da ni sa ni da ma ga sa ni sa dha ni ga ma ga sa। बिन गुरु ज्ञान कहाँ से पाऊं। बिन गुरु ज्ञान कहाँ से पाऊं। दीजो दान हरि गुण गाऊं। सब गुनी जन पे तुम राज। तरपत हरि दर्शन को आज। तरपत हरि दर्शन को आज। मुरली मनोहर आस न छोड़ो। दुख भंजन मोरी आस न तोड़ो। मोह दर्शन भिक्षा दे दो। मोह दर्शन भिक्षा दे दो दे दो आज। मुरली मनोहर आस न तोड़ो। मुरली मनोहर आस न छोड़ो। मोह दर्शन भिक्षा दे दो आज। मन तरपत हरि दर्शन को आज। मन तरपत हरि दर्शन को आज। हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम। One more small pada, bhajan, which is based on raga, and rag is Bhairav. It's the right time not right time to sing, but Swamiji likes it, I know that. Sa re sa, it's bhairav. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da ba ga ma pa da ba ma ga ma pa ma ga re sa ni dha pa dha ni sa re sa. Dhana dhana murat Krishna murari. Dhana dhana murat Krishna murari. Sulachana giridhari. छवि सुंदर लागे यति प्यारे. दन 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 मूरत कृष्ण मुरारी. हो बंसीधर मन मोहन सुहावे. बंसीधर मन मोहन सुहावे. बलि बलि जाऊं बलि बलि जाऊं मोरे मन भाए. छवि सुंदर लागे यति प्यारे. दन दन मूरत कृष्ण मुरारी. दन 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 मूरत कृष्ण. क्यों बजाया नहीं आपने? बजाइए. 3 ताली है. दा दिन दिन ना दा दिन दिन ना धा दिन. दन दन मूरत कृष्ण मुरारी. दन दन मूरत कृष्ण मुरारी. सुलक्षण गिरधारी. छवि सुंदर लागे यति प्यारे. दन 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 मूरत कृष्ण मुरारी. बंसीधर मन मोहन सुहावे. बंसीधर मन मोहन सुहावे. बलि बलि जाऊं बलि बलि जाऊं मोरे मन भाए. छवि सुंदर लागे यति प्यारे. दन 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 मूरत कृष्ण मुरारी. कृष्ण मुरारी कृष्ण मुरारी. ओ I would request Swamiji to sing something and I'll accompany him. And that's my, yeah, you sing something and I'll accompany. Yeah, please. I'm feeling so glad and so privileged, as I said before. And I wish all of you, youngsters particularly, all the best in their careers. And please grab the music in your life, on your day-to-day life, because it is an integral part of the life. Right from the beginning, from the morning to the time you sleep, the music is involved in your body. So please be with the music always. No matter what kind of music you listen to, but there should be a music in your lives. That's what I would say. Yeah, you should have music in your life.
So, हाँ? एक मैं हूँ, तू नक्की करवाएंगे. ना हूँ गाओ पची सूर. एक मिनट, let me start. He doesn't know my ignorance in music, you know. But you can repeat after me.
Okay.
Simbolji. राधे श्याम हे घन श्याम राधे राधे श्याम हे घन श्याम राधे श्याम
હે ઘનશ્યામ.
જે જુદું પડે છે ને, થોડુંક જુદું પડે છે, થોડુંક જુદું પડે છે. તું ગાય છે મારા કરતા થોડુંક જુદું પડે. એમ નહીં, ઇવન રાધે શ્યામ હે ઘન શ્યામ રાધે શ્યામ હે ઘન શ્યામ રાધે શ્યામ હે ઘન શ્યામ राधा माधव मंगल धामा राधा माधव मंगल धामा हाँ, everybody join. राधे श्याम हे घन श्याम. गुड. राधा राधे श्याम हे घन श्याम राधे
श्याम
हे घन श्याम राधा माधव मंगल धाम राधा
माधव मंगल धाम.
जय 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 हे मेघ श्याम जय Jaya 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 He Megha Shyama Jaya
Jaya Jaya He Megha Shama.
Need to a microphone now, guys. No, because I am not used to this music and things, I'm a very non-technical person, so. Jaya 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 He Megha Shyama Jaya. Jaya 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 He Megha Shyama Jaya Jaya. Megha Shyama 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 Megha Shyama. Jaya 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 He Megha Shyama. Jaya 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 Vrindavana Dhama. 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 Radhe Shyama He Ghana Shyama. Radhe Shyama He Ghana Shyama. Radha Madhava Mangala Dhama. Radha Madhava Mangala Dhama. Jaya 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 He Megha Shyama. Megha Shyama Megha Shyama Megha Shyama Megha Shyama Megha Shyama Megha Shyama. Jaya 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 He Megha Shyama. Jaya 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 Vrindavana Dhama. Jaya 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 वृंदावन धामा जय 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 वृंदावन धामा राधे श्यामा हे घन श्यामा जय जय गोविंद जय हरि गोविंद 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 ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।